This lesson is about understanding Joomla. The topics covered are: what is Joomla? Why use Joomla? How Joomla works? Joomla versions. Joomla is a website content management system, also known as a CMS, that allows people to build and maintain their own website. In the previous lesson, I discussed the difference between static and dynamic websites. Joomla is a dynamic website solution. It includes a bunch of files that make Joomla work the way it does, and a database that stores the website content. Joomla is used to power a wide range of websites, including personal sites, non-profit, business, and even enterprise. You'll find some examples in the accompanying workbook. So, why use Joomla? Well, first point is it's free. There are no fees to obtain and use the core of Joomla. However, products and services provided by third parties may come at a cost. It's open source, which means the underlying code is freely available and can be modified if necessary. Website owners are not locked into a proprietary solution. It's stable, with a history dating back to 2000. It's incredibly popular, which means you can get help easily. The Joomla software has been downloaded over 30 million times. There are hundreds of off-the-shelf templates available and thousands of third-party extensions that provide add-on functionality. There are two parts to a Joomla website: the front end and the back end. The front end is the public part of the website that contains all the pages and your content. The back end is called Administrator, and this is where you create and manage content as well as various other website administrative tasks. Administrator is protected with a password, and you can create multiple user accounts to provide access to various members of your team. For the benefit of those who have built websites before, you're now looking at the directory listing of a hosting account that contains a freshly installed copy of Joomla. There are a bunch of files and folders. These are the files necessary to run Joomla. When you upload images, which you'll learn in a later lesson, they get stored in the images folder. But other content is stored in a database at your web host. The layout and design of a Joomla website is determined by a template. The template files are a mixture of HTML code, CSS code that determines the layout of items on the page, PHP programming code, and other web design files. Many pre-designed templates are available from various Joomla developers. You can also hire a developer to create a unique template design. Templates are a vital ingredient in a Joomla site, and they're discussed in more detail throughout this course. The core of Joomla is sufficient to create a basic website. However, most modern websites include additional functionality, such as an interactive map, an e-commerce store, a photo gallery, feedback forms, or a forum. These functions are provided by add-on applications called extensions. There are thousands of extensions available that are produced by third-party developers. Like templates, some extensions are free and some are commercial. The prices for commercial extensions vary dramatically, but the majority are under $100. If your website requires a specific function and no suitable extension is available, you can hire a developer to build a custom extension. At the time of producing this course, there have been 4 major releases of Joomla. Recently, the Joomla project chose to change the naming convention, which will make more sense as time goes on, but right now it's a little confusing. The lessons in this course have been produced using the most recent release, which is version 3. From now on, a major release will start with that release number, followed by a dot and the number 0. For example, Joomla 3.0. As bugs and security issues are discovered, minor releases are made available, and they get an additional number. For example, versions 3.0.1, 3.0.2, 3.0.3, etc. 6 months after the previous major release, a new version is made available, which usually includes new features. To continue the above example, this would be version 3.1. And again, minor releases may occur and the numbering would then be 3.1.1, 3.1.2, 3.1.3, etc. Then would come version 3.2, and 6 months later, 3.5. This final version has what's called long-term support. That means bug fixes and security issues will continue to be released for 2 years. So, the recommendation is to use the latest 0.5 version of Joomla as it is the most stable. However, some people will be attracted to the new features offered in the most recent version. You can use the next version. However, there are 2 things to keep in mind. Firstly, it is not as tried and tested as the previous version, so it may contain bugs. Secondly, almost all Joomla websites use some extensions. You need to ensure that all the extensions, including the template, are compatible with the next version. Major versions are now set to be released every 2 years in September, giving website owners and developers plenty of time to plan upgrades. When a minor update is released, it is important to upgrade as soon as possible. For example, if your current version is 2.5.5 and version 2.5.6 is released, you should perform that upgrade immediately. As minor releases often include security fixes, not upgrading exposes your website to hackers. There is an update function built into Joomla and it only takes a few minutes to run. That completes the lesson in which you learnt what is Joomla, why you should use Joomla, how Joomla works, and Joomla versions.